So right now I'm reading The Adventures of Huckleberry Finn, and we picked it up in this like secondhand shop in New York, and so that's pretty cool. And then I found this book on a bus, and nobody claimed it, so I kind of stole it, and I couldn't put it down, and it was called The Weight of Blood. And I found this in Germany, which is odd because the book is actually about Arkansas, where I'm from. Like, it mentioned like towns where I'm from, like Little Rock and Texarkana and all these different, like Ozark County. And I found this book in Germany, and it was weird.
It was meant to be.
Yeah, so that's what I've been reading.
But are you in love at the moment?
In love? Ooh, yeah.
Yeah? Really?
I'm actually here with my boyfriend, but today we're having a solo day. So we're just doing whatever we want to do for one day in Amsterdam.
And what's the best love book you know?
Love?
About love. Most inspirational book about love.
I don't think it's like the traditional like lovey-dovey stuff that I really read. You know, honestly, a really hot book to read though, 50 Shades of Grey. Such a good book. Have you heard of this? Have you read it?
Of course.
Did you read it?
My daughter, the only book she read.
Okay, so I was on this trip with my grandparents, and I'm reading this book on my phone, and I'm just like always on my phone reading this book, right? I was probably like 18, and my grandmother goes, "Hannah, what are you reading?" And I was like, "Oh, nothing." And I kept reading it, and she goes, "Oh, what is it, sweetie? You look like you're really enjoying this book." And I was like, "It's 50 Shades of Grey." I just kept reading, and she goes, "What's that about?" And I was like, "A BDSM relationship." And so we're on this plane, like across the aisle from each other. She's reading her freaking Bible, seriously, on this plane. And she looks over at me and hands me this packet, and she goes, "Maybe you'll enjoy reading this more." And it was like a Bible study.
Not bad idea.
It can be
So,
interesting as well.
50 Shades of Grey, also a great book that I couldn't put down.
But the Bible can be interesting as well. Why?
Yeah, the Bible is interesting. It's just such a funny circumstance. That like she would see that I was reading this book and then be so offended that she gave me Bible verses to read. That's such a Southern grandma thing to do.
Hey, what do you think about the library?
The library?
Should we be more open and going on the street talking about books to people?
Yeah. I think you always feel stupid if somebody's like, "What are you currently reading?" And you're like, "Last book I read was a telephone book," or something like that. Like when you haven't been reading a book, kind of just dulls the conversation. And I like to read funny books too, like books by comedians. Those are always good books. What do you like to read?
I read a book. It was about a woman who was kidnapped. She was 5 years old. Then one day she woke up and she was in the middle of the jungle. It's non-fiction, so it's...
Are you sure it's non-fiction?
Yeah.
This really happened?
It reads like non-fiction, or like it
so
reads
it's like a
fiction.
serious
It's
fiction.
a very good story, really. And wow, can this really happen?
What's a book that you would never read again? The worst book you've ever read? There's gotta be one. Because I've read some terrible books that I was just like, why? They were always assigned in school, but...
If I don't like the book, I just stop. Sometimes I try another 10 pages, but no.
Tell me which one. Just list one. Be a secret. Your least favorite
What's your
book.
name?
I'm Hannah Malmstrom. Hello.